Training camp observations, day 4 are upon us, man. And tomorrow, Friday, the pads come on, and Saturday is the first day that fans can be in attendance at the Allen Park facility, man. I am super excited about this because for the first time, I will be able to go when season ticket holders go. Shout out to the big homie. I'm only going to be there 3 days. I've got a ticket to Saturday. Then I won't be there again until August 3rd. I had to get that ticket from a supporter as well. And then I managed to get tickets to the joint practice on the 14th of August. So if anybody has any tickets, if it comes upon it that you can't go, please keep me in mind. I would appreciate that. I would love to be there every day. But Tim, 20 man, we're going to do like we usually do and look at some training camp day 4 observations. The first thing we're going to look at is pass catcher. Says third-year running back Jahmyr Gibbs has been a big part of the passing game in Detroit with 52 receptions in each of his first 2 seasons. Don't be surprised if he catches more passes this season in John Morton's offense. He's been used a ton in the passing game the first 4 days of camp and took a short pass in a team period late in Thursday's practice to the house. And of course he does. That is going to be a big deal because one thing that I did notice about the way that Ben Johnson liked to do things is he very rarely had David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs on the field at the same time. It would either be, it seems like David Montgomery would get a quarter and then Jahmyr Gibbs would get a quarter. And then the second half, they would either ride one of them or get away from the run altogether. So I am very intrigued. And I think, you know what? I'm more excited than I am nervous about how we're going to do without Benedict the Snake Johnson, because John Morton seems to have an idea in place, and I am looking forward to seeing that. But there's a safety that is trying to make an impact. His name is Eric Hallett. Let's take a look and see what he did today. Pick 6. Safety Eric Hallett Jr. had the biggest play of Thursday's practice for the defense, stepping in front of a Jared Goff pass intended for wide receiver Jameson Williams along the right side on a comeback, taking it to the house for a defensive score. Hallett has had a nice start to camp trying to battle for a roster spot as the number 4 safety. Defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard has put emphasis on creating negative plays and turnovers. Along with that interception, his defense also forced a fumble later in practice. Good to see. You know what? For many, many years, I in particular have been very tough on Aaron Glenn and was talking about having a change for the longest period of time. I am very curious to know if our personnel is going to equate to a better defense, along with Kelvin Shepard being the new defensive coordinator. I'm liking what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, I should say, between these two brand new coordinators. It's almost like they did not miss out at all. Now, what about the catch of the day, according to Tim? Here's what he had to say. Said, catch of the day. This goes to rookie wide receiver Dominic Lovett, who had a leaping one-hand catch down the right sideline in a 7-on-7 period. It was across the field from where I was standing, so I couldn't tell if he got his feet in bounds or not. The defensive player standing there waved him out of bounds. Still, it was a great catch. Lovett is battling for one of the last receiver spots on the roster, and he flashed here and there the first week of camp. Now, Dominic Lovett, our 7th round pick, right? Which we haven't heard a ton about the offense the first 3 days. It's been like defense, and even now it's been a lot centered around the defense. But the last spot that he's referring to is probably after Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond is looking really, really good. I was under the impression that he might be up for a bubble spot simply because of what we did. We wind up taking a Khalif-like wide receiver in the 7th round, and then we picked up Jackson Meeks in free agency, undrafted free agency. So I was like, maybe Khalif is on his way out, or he could be a bubble guy being on the last year of his deal. But he, from what we were hearing from early days, he was, fresh as ever. He hasn't really been used the last 2 years like he was the first couple. So I could see now him making a team, obviously. It was always a kind of a long shot that he didn't make the team. Khalif has always been a valuable player. But you're talking about Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tim Patrick. You've got Isaac Tesla, who we haven't heard a ton about. And then you would have the 5th spot for a wide receiver, right? Khalif Raymond, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Isaac Tesla, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that person would be the 6th spot. And that means that Tim thinks that we're going to go with 6 wide receivers. I think we went with 5 last year. No, we went with like 4 last year. Last year was a weird year, man. It was some year we went 4 wide receivers. So that is great to see and great to hear. So let me know what you think about the Detroit Lions day 4 observations. It looks like that Derek Barnes, we talked about that earlier. Derek Barnes and Terrion Arnold they left practice. Barnes had a hand injury. With Terrion, it was evaluated to be a calf injury. So hopefully it's not too bad. Probably won't be out there tomorrow. Hopefully we can see him heal very quickly and be out there. One thing that the Lions are not going to do is rush him out back to the field. They're not going to do that. They haven't done it up to this point. They're not going to ever do it. They didn't do it with Jameson. They didn't do it with Hendon. They have not done it with anybody on injured reserve. No one. So this is going to be a great time. Now tomorrow, we talked about it earlier in the video, pads come on. So now we get to have some fun. Now I did hear from another reporter that it was quite feisty there today. I even heard that practice had to be stopped because Brian Branch, and not necessarily because of these 2 players, but that Brian Branch and St. Brown were going at it, and it was super chippy, and he just caught it. We heard the other day about a person being ejected from practice because, again, they were too aggressive with no pads on. So this is going to be, you know what? I feel like the fellas got chips on their shoulders. You got the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. You've got the first seed, massive injuries, and we get beat by a rookie quarterback when we should have at least made the NFC Championship game to host it at Ford Field. I think a lot of the players, new and old, have a chip on their shoulder, and that's probably where a lot of this aggressiveness is coming from. I will say this. I wanted to say something earlier about Jared Goff. We've seen a few interceptions. We saw that last season, last training camp. He was throwing quite a few picks, more than I would like to see. But Jared Goff did have a new baby. And I think 2 things are going to happen. Either 1, he's going to play horrible to start the season, or 2, he's going to play great. And he's going to carry us to a Super Bowl. It's going to be one of the 2, man, because, and of course, I know we have to get to a Super Bowl and it takes a team. But when these players have babies, it seems like it ruins their play. Penei Sewell, when he had one of his first kids, it was like that. And this is Jared Goff's first kid. So I think it happened with Taylor, Frank, all of them. You have a baby, and I understand, man, you don't sleep very well, even if you're rich and you have a nanny. I'm telling you. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you are going to training camp as well. And I am going to see Fantastic Four in just a few hours. I've got a whole separate channel where I talk about essentially anything. And I talked about the new Superman movie, which I hated, by the way, and it got 50,000 views. So anyway, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. And thanks for the shout out from SI Detroit Lions.